Welcome to the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report, the only show that provides you with the best insight and information to everything Franklin County sports. And now here's your host, Bobby C.
Hello, and welcome to the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. I'm Bobby C. Want to welcome you here today. Boy, I couldn't be more luckier today to be able to have two of the premier athletes for football here in Franklin County. All together, the three of us will be able to talk about the incredible season that both of these gentlemen have had. Also, the nice rivalry between Greenfield and Turners over the last couple of seasons. We'll also talk a little bit about something that was really tough, and that was a program up at Pioneer that ended up having to dismantle over the last year, and how Wyatt had to make a huge jump to a new team. We'll talk about all this on the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Want to thank our sponsors here today: Denny's Pantry, Burniston Road in Greenfield, the Four Leaf Clover Restaurant located on Routes 5 and 10 in Burniston, Lisa Albert of Albert Hearing Services, 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield, and by Hubie's Tavern and Restaurant, Avenue A in Turners Falls. My producer is John Meisner. I also want to say a big thank you to Ian for filling in for Philippe today. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here, and let's get right to it. RJ Byrd, Wyatt Keith, guys, thank you for being a part of the show here today.
No problem.
Hey, you know, I just want to tell you guys something. You guys did something that a lot of people would say is pretty incredible for high school football around here, to be able to both in the same league get 2,000 yards. Let's just start with Wyatt for first. I'm going to start with Wyatt for one reason. Wyatt, you had to make a huge change, man.
Yep.
You're up at Pioneer. You're playing ball up there, and you found out that there wasn't going to be a football team. And you had to make a decision on whether you wanted to play your senior year of football at Turner's, because the deal is that they were willing to open up the door to you guys, to give you guys an opportunity to play. What was that like when you ended up having to get that call to be told that you have to make a decision on whether you want to travel each day to practice in Turner's and to be able to be a part of the Thunder?
Well, at first it wasn't really a sure thing that we were going to be merging. It was kind of like talked about, like a rumor. I knew that no matter what happened, I was going to end up playing football my senior year. I was either going to have to transfer schools to make that happen, or stay if Turner's would accept Pioneer to come. But once I heard Turner's was accepting us, at first I was a little sketchy about it, because Pioneer and Turner's never had the greatest, relationship. But honestly, once we started practice, it just fit together and worked things out quick, and it was good.
You know, the one thing that I think is hard is when you have to make that decision to be able to come and play on a team who's already got a bunch of players who have been established with each other. You know, you're part of the new group that's coming in, and you and the other, was it 4 players or 5 that ended up being that came over to Turner's?
6. One was a
okay.
sophomore, 5 seniors.
Okay, so it was 5 seniors.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, you guys that are seniors, do you feel that there's a group of kids that will come up and be able to continue to play football and go to Turner's to be able to to be a part of their program? Or do you think that they're going to end up going and playing another sport, maybe sticking to maybe either soccer or something in that nature? Because I noticed that your brother is a soccer player.
Yeah. Well, I'm really hoping. I mean, the middle school team's been doing really well. I watched a couple of their games this season, and if the Pioneer Middle School goes to Turner's, I think they'll have a team, but depending on how many people transfer to Tech or whatever, then that'll really determine what happens.
Now, that's a great question that I have for both of you guys, is that, we feel that the Tech school has definitely taken away athletes from every single school here in Franklin County. Mm-hmm. People say to us, wow, the biggest football program for numbers in this area is the Franklin County Tech school, guys.
Mm-hmm.
They got a lot of kids.
They have a lot of kids. And, you guys are like, man, we could use a couple of these extra players on our team to be able to, give us a chance to not have to play both ways. And, it's a lot of work you guys have to put in when you don't have the numbers. RJ, you're a pretty special guy at what you did at GHS, and I remember seeing you in middle school, and I watched you come through, and I said to people, I said, this kid really has a special gift. You really do have a special gift. And
thank you.
I said, this kid right here is really a team player too. People need to realize that this kid wants to be a team player. But I also feel that, you had a lot of a load put on you this year. You definitely were stockpiled a plate that's about the size of my desk here that was full, and you really made it through a year with no injuries. I'm really, really happy that you didn't get hurt this year.
Thank you. I just hit the weight room a lot. I knew they were going to come this season.
Well, you had an idea of what you wanted to prove too, because you're getting ready to try to get into a college, and I know that you'd love to be able to continue your career.
Yeah.
So I know that you wanted to keep yourself in good shape and be able to get yourself ready, and you did that this year. And the one thing I really love about both of you two guys is that you guys did have great achievements, but you know what the best part about this was is you two guys are real humble men. And I just want to say, guys, thank you for that. Thank you for being humble men, understanding that it really is about a team. If you got a good line, you're going to get some good yards, and if you guys are able to have the speed and how good you guys have kept yourselves in good shape, you're going to be able to do that extra to get where you guys got this year. Two guys who got over 2,000 yards in the same league is pretty damn impressive. And you both played each other twice this year, and it could have honestly, mathematically, could have been 3 times if you guys ended up beating Belchertown. It could have been at the time. It could have been where Greenfield would play Turners in a playoff game.
Yeah.
You guys could have honestly played each other 3 times in one season.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah, it really would, So let's go back and reflect a second here. When you came to Turners Falls, what was your expectation of yourself? What was your expectation?
I mean, that whole off season, I put in the work. I just wanted to get better, faster, stronger, and then when I came, I wanted to put what I could do to the table, and that was pretty much it. I wanted to put my best self out there, really.
RJ, what was your game plan? Your senior year, you've already been playing with these guys for a few years. You knew what was coming back. You did have a bigger line last year. You lost a couple of the big boys, And what was it like to get yourself prepared when you were getting ready over the summer?
I just tried to get everybody in the weight room to win, because that's what you got to do to win. And I wanted to win a lot. And I wanted to get in the playoffs, but that didn't happen. But
I know, and I know you wanted to get in the playoffs, and I could tell by the way that you played. Some of the quotes that you made in the paper really proved that you wanted to get into playoffs. That was your goal, was really to get in the playoffs this year. And I'm so sorry that it came up that one game short, man. Right. It was a tough one. But one thing I could say about both of you guys is that you guys had some really great teammates around you. Both of you guys had good quarterbacks. And really think about it, Owen Phelps and Kyle Dodge, they were both the 2 top quarterbacks in the league in the ratings. Of how they were able to perform. They both have good arms. They both did a nice job being able to call, and they did their job. And then if you look at your guys' line, I got to tell you, your lines did a nice job for both of you guys this year. I know the league was down in some ways, but that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that you're doing the jobs that you're supposed to do. And if you're a lineman, you got to block. If you're a running back, you got to be able to do your job, and you got to find the open holes, and you got to do what you can, try to be able to gain yardage. So everybody seemed to have done their job really well. And I will say that both of you guys, both of your teams, you guys made it the most unbelievable turkey day that I have ever been a part of. I'm sad I wasn't able to be there to do the announcing of that, because I've always done it on the TV, but because I have full neuropathy and nerve damage in my leg, it was so cold that day, I couldn't take the chance to be able to do it. So what I did is I stayed home and I listened to Bear Country, and I'm listening to Jeff and Hubie, and man, you guys put on a show. You two put on a show. And I'm going to tell you what, old timers were literally talking in coffee shops about you two gentlemen. I'm telling you. I can't believe that R.J. Byrd ended up being 209 yards away and pulled it off, and he even surpassed all that. And Wyatt Keith, are you kidding me? 23+ 100 yards in a season for a kid in Franklin County in a year? No way. Well, these are the old timers, guys. They're not used to seeing this kind of stuff, okay? These are the guys that are in their 70s that are sitting in a coffee shop and talking about you two guys and the accomplishment that you guys made, So I just want to tell you, you really made a lot of people proud. And I know you made your family proud. I know you made your school proud. And I know you made your team proud. So you guys should be very, very pleased on how you guys were able to present yourselves. You've always represented yourselves very well. And I just want to say what an honor it is to be able to have 2 premier football players sitting right in front of me right now here on the show, because you guys really deserve to be awarded something special, and we will be presenting something to you guys in the beginning of the year when we do our special award presentation, because I do have something for both of you. All right?
Thank you.
So, RJ, what's the game plan for the future for you, my friend? Where are we standing here?
I'm going to try to go to college and try to get to the NFL. That's where I want to be at.
You want to work your butt off, man. All right. And you figure, hey, whatever you have to do to try to get there, you're going to make it work.
Right.
Yep. So college is where it's at. You're looking at that. What about you, Wyatt? What's your game plan, bud?
Honestly, the profession I want to pursue is physical therapy, which is a really competitive program, and to play football and do that, it's kind of hard, but I would really want to figure out a way to work my way around that, and if I can keep going, and I'd like to go to the NFL. That'd be sick.
Absolutely. Well, guys, when you think about what you guys were able to accomplish here in Franklin County, it's not only just Franklin County, it's not just the Pioneer Valley, it's the state. In the state, you get two guys who get 2,000 yards in the same league. You don't hear about that. You always hear about the one dominant kid who's always there that does something special. But if you think about it, guys, you guys almost had, between the both of you, which really just blows me away when I think about this, almost 4,500 yards between two guys. That's incredible, man. And it's because you two guys went out there and you guys had a commitment that at the beginning of the year that you guys were going to work. And you both did that. And what kind of compliments did you guys get from your community and people around you for the year that you guys have had? How proud is family, man?
They good. They proud.
Good.
Everybody say I'm a GOAT.
All right, that's really great, man. And what kind of energy we're getting between the folks over in, I know, don't your family live in Vernon?
Yep.
Yeah. So you got your Vermont family and you got your Mass family, Yep. So what kind of feeling were you getting?
I mean, they're all proud, and especially the two schools, they all feel like I did, I don't know, I made them proud too, and
you did.
Yeah.
It's funny because I look back and I say to myself, man, one of the hardest challenges was this guy right here, because he had to leave a school that he's already been working with other people, and he had to go with a new group of folks for his senior year. Sometimes as a senior, it's a little bit hard. The only thing I think that helped him is that he had 5 other seniors that were able to come with him from Pioneer over to Turner's. So he did have a nice group of other people. But can you imagine if you had to make that decision and you were literally in a situation where there's only maybe 2 guys that came over from a school, and if it just say it was a 10th grader, okay, the sophomore, you're it, man. You're the guy who's been the guy over at Pioneer. Now you're going to come into a new system. Now you're going to have to be able to do something. What was it like to play under Coach LaPointe?
It was a brand new experience. Going from Coach Worth being an old timer and coaching old-fashionedly, it was just a complete different change. LaPointe was more outgoing, I guess, and was more of the coaching style that I feel like I needed to better myself. And yeah, it was a completely different experience, I guess.
I tell people that Chris LaPointe to me is one of the best coaches in Western Massachusetts. I've always felt that way about him, but there's many reasons why. And the one thing that I love about him is that he knows how to utilize his players. Yeah. And, that's huge. You got to be able to utilize them all. And if you look at the way that your team did, it wasn't just that Wyatt Keith was the one-man show this year. It wasn't, because Kyle did throw a lot of balls, and he did get to Craver, and he did get to Wallace, and he did get to Jaden Whiting. Those guys all got to be a part of it too, It wasn't just about the one guy who did everything. And in RJ's situation, he had the guy who was the second best quarterback in the league, but I think that Owen could have been just as competitive as as Kyle, because of the fact that I think that Owen Phelps was a darn good quarterback this year. And, but they did rely a lot more on him to carry the ball and carry the load on offense than they did at Turner's, because Turner's really mixed it up a lot more than Greenfield did. Okay?
He had more carries than I had, though.
Yeah.
In the games.
Yeah. It's amazing on how the possession that you guys were able to have this year was incredible to me. The possession of time that they had the ball was crazy, Now, how many times during the year did you get into a time where you had to really be that leader to step up in there in the huddle or on the sidelines to get people going?
I'd probably say the most was Athol.
Athol.
Yeah.
Athol. That's
when I felt like the most leader on the team.
Okay.
Because like it was like back and forth.
Well, let me tell you something. What was it like in that Turkey Day game, brother?
It was like the same.
You were smelling the fact that you had a chance to get your 2,000. You were smelling that turkey. You were smelling that it'd be a lot nicer to have it at home, and it's at your home field. And you guys pulled off that huge win last year with 4th and 23. That will never be forgotten between Nooney throwing it to Hunter Campbell for that touchdown, because that was pretty big, man, to give you guys that win. Now think about this, guys. Anyone could have won that game on Turkey Day. You guys were all battling on those 2-point conversions, man. You guys were like stopping each other left and right, and it really came down to conversions. Yeah, it really did. You know, if you really think about it, you lost by a conversion. Yeah. You know. It wasn't that you guys were back and forth on scoring against each other. What were the conditions like? Did the ground loosen up, gentlemen, that day? No, it did not. Did you guys go home with a bunch of, did you guys have a bunch of scrapes and?
My elbows all tight.
Oh, yes, it is. Wow. Because I'm going to tell you, I always hated playing on the hard ground, man. Oh, yeah. As a lineman, it was tough.
Frozen.
It was frozen. And when you get hit and you get tackled hard, I mean, it's dangerous, man. Mm-hmm. And were there a lot of patches too because of the cleats of some of the areas that were still frozen, and were there little heaves that were popped up and stuff everywhere on the field too? Yeah. What was your traction like? What'd you wear for cleats, man?
I put sneakers on.
Did you? Did. Good job, man.
I didn't want to.
Most people don't think about that. Yeah. So you went with the sneaks.
Yeah.
All right. he was thinking, but you know what though? He would have had to have an extra set of cleats there if the mud was there, though. Yeah, but he knew what he was trying to go with until he could go with it. But like you said, it never loosened up. No. So that's why you were able to do what you did. Yeah. Did you wear your regular cleats? Yeah. You did. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, you guys broke out with some huge, plays. We guys, bolting in. You started off the game with that big touchdown, so people were like, "Oh wow, here we go," Mm-hmm. And everybody on. You were thinking the same thing, were you? Were you seriously? Well, I'm looking back at game one, guys, and the first half, it was a good game. And over in Turner's, and then you guys came out and really took it to Greenfield in the second half in that game. And then, of course, when I see you breaking for that first touchdown in the game, I'm going, oh boy, this could be another one of those, But it didn't turn out that way. Mm-hmm. It turned out to be a really great Turkey Day, Now, I got to tell you, when you really think about what you guys have done individually, What is it like? What is it like to be able to get together with your team the day before? Do you do the spaghetti dinner thing or anything at Turner's? Like, I know Greenfield's very faithful in that for all the years that they go back 40, 50 years doing that. Mm-hmm. You guys do the same thing?
Yeah.
What's it like to get together with a group the day before a game?
It's just a little extra motivation to keep going and feel like a family after. It makes you play better, I feel like.
You like to get together before game day on a Thursday night when you guys were getting together and having your spaghetti dinner or whatever you're going to have that day, and
it makes you feel more ready.
Good. That's good. Yes, that's great. Was both of your teams' favorite game against each other, you think, or did you guys like to go out against that Frontier team that everybody always talked about all the time? I always wonder what everybody feels is the game that they want to be able to try to go out and,
My team was Turner's.
It was Turner's. Okay.
I remember both of those games, definitely. The Frontier was definitely, I think, the most exciting game for us in the moment. But when I look back, the one I'm going to remember is the Greenfield one.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that Turkey Day game, I don't care what the final score was, bottom line, two teams left it all on the field, man, on Turkey Day. You guys did. You laid it out, and you made it fun for the fans. Too bad that you guys couldn't have better fans there at the game themselves because it was just so cold, guys. But the radio and the TV broadcast, I guarantee you, had a ton of viewers and a lot of listeners.
I watched the game again later that night.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Get to be able to see exactly, what was done that day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, it seemed like your 2-point conversions, every time there was just some kind of little mistake that would happen, whether it was a flubbed up ball or the snap wasn't quite there or the kid that got the handoff ended up, mm-hmm. There was a lot of miscues, as we would say, a lot of miscues. But during the game, everything seemed to flow pretty well, but when you guys get down to those 2-point conversions, man, that really was the real tell, the tale of the tape, and be able to lay it down on what happened, Now, Wyatt, you took the trip, you went over to Turner's, you played with these guys, and you brought a couple other players with you. Yep. Can you, on behalf of them, can you be able to say what kind of experience that they had?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, captain's practice, we were all like communicating with each other, and we were all feeling the same way, like unsure how it was going to go. But we all talked during school, and we all mentioned just how we all felt welcomed, and we all told all the Turner's kids how we felt welcomed to the community. And it was a good experience for all of us, for sure.
That's really sweet. I mean, I just think it's great that, we're able to do this. I want to tell you guys something, and I want you to know that this is coming from the heart, too. We're going to have changes that are going to happen in Franklin County in the next 10 years. And I think what's going to happen, guys, is I think we're going to end up having a vocational school, and we're probably going to have a regional school district for sports eventually. Numbers have just gotten way down.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Number one, families aren't having 6, 7 kids anymore like they did back 40 years ago, okay? You can't. Who can afford 7 kids in this world today, So the numbers are down in families. There's a number of kids that aren't playing sports anymore. There's a lot of difference in parents who are afraid for their kids to play certain sports, and one of those sports is football, So I think what's going to happen is eventually you're going to see what's happening with the Greenfield High School hockey team right now, where they're a co-op program of all the different schools from Franklin County. So every kid who literally plays hockey is now going to play for Greenfield. It's going to be the Greenfield hockey team, but it's really Franklin County. Yep. And I think what's going to happen eventually is you're going to have a tech school that's going to have a very big population of students that are going to go there, and they'll have a football program, and then you're going to end up having maybe 1 or 2 other schools that are going to do it. I mean, let's be honest, guys, Mohawk, they're really down in numbers right now. You guys are gone, okay? Next, you have to wonder, is Turner's Falls going to be able to hold on if there's not enough kids from Pioneer to be able to come over to do it, because the Turner's graduation rate is very low as well. Greenfield is just holding on right now, but the good thing is they have a very good group of 8th graders that are coming up right now. Good. So the future looks really bright for Greenfield right now with their football program. I mean, really good. And like you said, Wyatt, you've had a chance to go and you had a chance to check out the Pioneer program, and you even said that Coach Byrd, he's got a good little group of kids over there. And I know a lot of those kids too, because they play in the Greenfield minor league, and they're baseball players, you think about Ian, and you think about Rowe and Tanner Rowe and all these other kids. They're all part of that group, and so we're very fortunate. And I think that when you start seeing guys like Provost coming up, and they're going to be bulldogs. So Greenfield's in a good shape right now. I just hope that those kids from Pioneer come over to Turner's to save Turner's program. I really do.
That's what I'm hoping.
And I hate to say it, but Turner's needs Pioneer right now to be able to make this happen. I mean, that's how things have really changed. Frontier, they always do it, man. They just have athletics down there. That's a big thing. Yeah. I don't care what sport it is. They still are able to get athletes all the time. Mm-hmm. Think about this for a second, guys. Where do you go to a school where your volleyball team is #1 in the state, your cross-country team is going to the States, your golf team went to the States, your girls' field hockey team went to the Western Mass Finals against Greenfield, your football team has made it to the playoffs 3 out of the last 4 years. I mean, those are all the athletes just from Frontier, guys. Yeah. That's only 5 towns, So eventually you're going to start seeing things sort of change. So my preach that I preach out here to everybody is that get out there, support your teams, and just try to be able to do whatever you can to enjoy your high school years, because eventually it's going to be like you guys are, over. Mm-hmm. RJ, you want to go to college. You got a game plan of what you want to do. What other sports do you do?
Outdoor track.
Outdoor track. And what do you do for outdoor track? 100,
200, and 4x1.
Fantastic.
I might do another field event.
Okay. So 3, possibly 4 events. Mm-hmm. You do anything else during the year?
Yeah, I do outdoor track too.
You do?
I do the 100, the 4x1, the 4x4, and javelin.
Fantastic. So you love it?
Yeah.
Yeah? You love it?
No, actually it's all right.
It's all right. Do you do it mainly just to keep yourself, to get yourself in shape as you really, so you take the winter to sort of be able to take your little sabbatical, because really when you guys think about it, you're starting back up with doing what you guys are doing in the spring, and you're literally going to spring right into your summer, training for football, right into football. So it's like you get a couple month break and then you're right back into it. So, yeah. I want to tell you, you have a unique way of running a ball, my friend. And I always wondered about you, man. I'm like, how can a guy run pretty much standing up? You run as a stand-up running back, man. You know, most people usually are down low, whatever. You're tough, man. You have a toughness about you to be able to take that on, man. I watched you this year a lot, and I watched some footage of you, and I'm like, wow, this guy, he is a stand-up runner. Is it easier for you to see the field because of it?
I don't really know. I guess it's just something I did. I mean, I haven't always been a running back, so it's still somewhat new to me. So I don't really know. I guess why I run standing up, but yeah.
I mean, if you go back and you look at some of your film and you see, you know, you run like. I mean, you're a pretty tall guy, so you can see the field pretty good. Yeah. A guy like RJ, he's got a sort of he has a different way of running than you do. Yeah, you're very shifty, exactly. Where he's more of a bull. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. He's more of the bull runner, and you're more the shifty runner. You know, but there's a difference in size between you guys too, with height and all that. But I always said, I'm just glad that you didn't get hurt, man. I'm glad somebody didn't try to spear you or something just because of just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, it really doesn't have anything about anybody trying to do something intentionally. It's just that the way you ran, you know? So. Yeah,
I try to get low when I'm hitting someone because I like to.
Yeah, you do, man, and I've watched it. Yeah.
I don't like being the one taking it, so I try to lower my shoulder for that, but when I'm moving, I'll stay up, I guess.
But here's the best part about it, guys. Once you guys break it, nobody can catch you. You guys got some great feet. You really do. I think that's where your track and field comes in handy for you, you know? I think that's where that really helped you guys. That's all part of that program, the regiment that you guys have, is that track and field of being able to do that has really helped out. Once you guys break the line, good luck. And a smaller defender who's a smaller guy, you know, you're shifty, man. You're gonna juke that person. In your case, you can just knock them over because you're a big boy, and you don't really. I mean, so you two guys have a lot going for you once you break the line on being able to get those extra yards and do what you did. So I think the reason why you both got over 2,000 yards in my estimation is because you guys did so many great things after the line. You guys were able to make your own extra yards to get you guys to where you guys are at. You know. I guess, you know, Coach K has been around a long time, and, you know, he's been doing football for a lot of years at GHS. He definitely, like I said, he put a little workload on you this year and stuff, but isn't it wonderful to know that there is a coaching staff that has a lot of respect for you, man? Yeah. They do. I'll tell you right now, they have a lot of respect for you.
They're all good coaches too. I respect
and they put a lot they put a lot of faith in you, man. And they did because they had faith in you to be able to get it done. And I just want to say that you definitely proved everybody wrong on Turkey Day, because a lot of people didn't really think that you were going to hit that 209 yards, only because of the way the performance ended up being of how well the defense was from Turner's in game one, right? Because, you know, we went back and we thought about this. Me, Jeff Terrell, and Sean Hubert were saying, you know, RJ would have been a lot closer if he ended up playing the full game against McCann Tech, and if he ended up having a good game the first time against Turner's. Because if you added that, you'd be right up around where he was for numbers, you know? But to me, numbers don't matter. What matters to me is the fact that you guys were able to do some great things for your team, and that's what I care about, you know? Yes, 2,000 yards is an amazing thing, and you guys can take that to your grave, and I'm psyched about both of you for having that. But I want you guys to be able to bring to your grave the experience that you were able to have over your high school career, to be able to say that you played with some good people and that you had a good experience of doing it. That's what's most important, you know. And individuals are great, but you have to look at the opportunity to be able to play with some good people and to have the experience to know that when you are out there, you are really, truly having fun. And that's what is really most important, guys, you know. So, RJ, you're sitting in GHS. It's Spirit Week. You're getting ready for the Thanksgiving Day game, and you're talking to people, and everybody's all getting ready, and you're saying to yourself, "Well, we didn't make the playoffs, but our way to come back from not making playoffs is we could win Turkey Day 2 years in a row." What kind of feeling was that going on, man? What was the feeling around the team sitting there as you guys were practicing, getting ready for Thanksgiving?
Well, we all wanted to win, and then we all wanted me to get, the whole team wanted me to get more than 20 yards because we knew the first game wasn't the best game none of us could play.
Right. Well, you did it. You did both that. You surely surpassed 20 yards, and you surely ended up playing a great game. Your team definitely gave a performance, and you did get that second victory. You know, Wyatt, I want to tell you something, bud. You ended up doing something that has never been done before, which I think, in a way, is sort of pretty weird, but it happens. Yeah. A guy from Pioneer Valley Regional High School is going to be in the Turners Falls trophy case for 2,355 yards as the all-time leading rusher, and he's from Pioneer Valley Regional High School. Right. He's not the Turners Falls guy, you know. Yeah. He's the guy that came in as part of the co-op program, and I just think that's pretty wild. That, you know, speaking of wild, pardon the pun. I heard that Wilder had a chance to come and speak at your Novak ceremony and stuff too, and he's a great kid, and I love that kid. And I loved him when he played too. You know, he was a little feisty dude like you is what he was. He reminds me of you, you know, a lot. He really does. He reminds me of you almost to the T on what he was able to do at Turner's, what you did at Greenfield. You know, they're built the same type of way, you know. And so what was it like to hear from the guy who you ended up breaking his record, and he's sitting there at that event of the Canon Novak Award ceremony over at St. Cas?
I mean, I talked to him before and after he talked, and I just gained so much respect for him. I mean, he's a police officer right now, and all the stuff that he's done. He was telling me about how he played, and I just got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He really is a great kid. I really, really respect him a lot. And he worked hard. He was a hard worker. He really loved the game of football, you know.
Is he the one that missed out on 1,000 yards his sophomore and junior year?
Yep.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yep. And then his coach said, "There's no way you're going to get 2,000 yards," and he ended up getting it. Yeah. Right. Just like when you said that there was a player from Turner's who said that you weren't going to get your. Well, guess what, buddy? You got your 2,000, brother. Right. So it's always nice when you can prove someone wrong, isn't it? Right. You know, I look at the whole picture of this whole season, and I am just so blessed to be able to say that you two guys did something that was amazing. But I also look at both of your teams, and I say to myself, what was the expectation of Turners Falls this year? Was Turners Falls expected to make the playoffs this year? No. Let's be honest, Wyatt. I didn't expect you guys to go to the playoffs this year. I didn't, all right? And I'm glad you proved me wrong. I think it's great, but I just didn't expect it. Yeah. I thought there was going to be a huge change of having to be able to get two schools together to try to get a new group of people to play together. Sometimes it takes a year or two to do that. Yeah. And how you guys were able to make it work in the first year, that's pretty impressive, you know? And that's because you guys all have to have confidence in each other. Like you said, when you guys were doing captain's practices and getting together in July or early August, you guys had an idea of where you guys wanted to go. Yep. And I think that really helped. And I got to tell you, and you guys could probably agree with me, you think the biggest reason why we do well in co-op programs here in Franklin County is because we pretty much have kids who play sports that are like AAU or, you know, like the Bulldogs, you know, it's a Franklin County as a young kid, you know, everybody knows each other, right? So you guys get to have that relationship where you guys aren't sitting in a town where you don't know each other. You guys all know each other from starting out in youth sports, right? Do you think it's a benefit for your teams by having that?
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in the one sport I always say is really fun to watch is Legion baseball. Because Legion baseball, you get all these kids that are really good ball players from all the different teams in Franklin County, and they put them together. And I noticed that Legion baseball has always done really well at a high school level for around here. That there's a lot of good athletes that have been able to do that, But the one thing that I think has been exciting for me is the fact that we got kids who are making a commitment to their school, to themselves, and also to doing something that they want to do while they're in school. And you guys have that opportunity to do that. Mm-hmm. What is your biggest gift that you feel it is about being able to play sports?
You mean what's my advantage? Or
yeah.
Something? I would say my height as a running back gives me an advantage. I got longer strides, and it can help me put more force into when I hit someone.
Yeah. What about you? What's your
Probably
biggest
my mind
gift?
to get over things and push through the bad things that can happen.
So you really think of the positive all the time?
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man.
Get over the past.
Yeah. So you knew you had a tough game the first time when you guys played Turners, and you weren't going to let that happen on Turkey Day, and you didn't. Right. So that's perfect. What is it like to be able to, get back into your flow at the end of a season, knowing that it's done? What is it? I don't know. I always bummed out when I had to turn in the equipment. I don't know about you guys, but equipment turn-in day after the sport that I like to play, I used to bum out.
Especially being a senior.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the worst.
No, it's over.
Yeah, you don't really realize that it's your last game until after you turn in this equipment, and then you don't go to practice the next week.
That whole week, there's nothing going on. Yep. You're like, wow. So will you guys condition yourselves with some weight training over the winter months to get yourself ready for your track and field?
Yeah.
And do a lot of leg work? Do a lot of stuff with your legs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And where do you guys like to do a lot of your workouts? Do you guys do it with other friends, or do you guys go to a gym?
I go to King's.
You go to King's?
In the basement.
Right. Yeah.
That's where you find me.
Yeah. And what do you like to do?
I got my own gym set up. I got at my house from equipment I've bought over the years, but
yeah.
I go to King's if I want.
You go to King's too?
Yeah. Some more variety of workouts, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, I notice there's a lot of guys who do a lot of weight training down there, competitively. They have a lot of people that are doing that out of King's Gym. Mm-hmm. So you guys get to hopefully get some of the experience from some of these older folks that are willing to work with you. Are they good about that over at King's Gym?
Yeah, they are.
They are good?
They show you a lot of different things.
So they're very, very helpful.
Mm-hmm. Good community in there.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they're always willing to spot you too. They're always asking if you need a spotter or whatever.
Wonderful. So it's a really good place to be able to be for you guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you guys got a game plan for the winter to be able to get you guys into your shape that you need to be in for your spring sport. As you guys know, once you're done with track and field, your high school sporting career is over, and then you guys have to start thinking about the next level. I'm glad that you're doing what you're doing, what you want to go into. I think that being involved in physical therapy and PT is a great profession to get into. Anything medical is great, And I think what's going to be nice is that you're going to be able to use your example of how you kept yourself in good shape throughout your young life to be able to bring that to the people that you're taking care of.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a huge asset in your part to be able to use that as a tool to be able to help other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
What's your major?
Probably something to do with business or sports management.
Sports management. All right. Because I'll tell you what, business can be very good, and sports management can be very good. They're both good professions. I just think that what you need to do is you need to find exactly what you feel most comfortable in, and I hope that you make exactly. Yep. And definitely do that, because I want to make sure that I want you to feel comfortable about what you're doing, because I'm rooting for you, man. I want you to do really well. I want both you guys to do well,
Appreciate it.
Because if you guys show that leadership that you guys put on the football field into your personal lives as adults, man, you guys are cruising. It's going to be a good time for both of you, I look back and I say, let's talk about Turners and Greenfield sports for a minute. I look back and I say, look at how good the girls softball team is at Turners Falls High School. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to make you even feel a little bit good too. What about last year's great basketball program at Pioneer? What a great run, Wyatt. Let's talk about that for a minute. You're a Pioneer guy who came over to Turners. Let's talk about that basketball season for a minute.
That was awesome. I was a part of it that whole way. I went to all the games, at least many as I could. Even the away games, that was just awesome.
What a great ride that was, wasn't it? And to knock off Hopkins Academy of all teams, you know, and to have that happen is like, wow, right? I mean, that was a big deal. Yeah. You know, there's a guy, it's funny, there's a guy at your school, and I coached him in Little League for 3 years, and Garrett Cody. Yep. And I was so blessed to have him as a young player, and I knew he was going to be a special athlete in his adult life. And I look back now, and I'm saying to myself, now he's the general this year. He'll run the show for their basketball program. Greenfield, they get Angelo Thomas now. They get the guy who left Hopkins, who comes to Greenfield now, as their head guy running the show for hoops. I mean, that's a big deal, man. You know, they got the right guy that's going to be in that position to be able to help this young group of kids that are going to be able to make Greenfield basketball to be where it's at. Funny thing is Scotty Thayer, what people don't realize is Scotty Thayer was a Pioneer Valley Regional alumni who ended up coaching Greenfield for a lot of years. And his assistant coach was Angelo Thomas when Angelo was coaching the JV. Then he got the job at Hopkins, and now they both get to be able to be literally 7 minutes apart from each other from gym to gym, and you know, from 91 one way to the other. And they're going to go at it this year. It should be a lot of fun. Now, my question to you is now that you played for Turners for football, when you're sitting on the basketball court, are you still going to be on the big Pioneer side?
Of course.
Of course you are. Oh, that's the best answer I heard all day. I had to get that in there. You know? I already know what RJ's going to do. He's wave all the way, man. But it should be, you know, it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the basketball season, and I'll see both of you guys there because I know you'll be supporting your teams, and I'll be doing the broadcast with Jeff Terrell again this year. So it's always fun to do the games. Me and Chris Collins will be doing our job with him, and it's a lot of fun to do that with the kids. I love doing that. You know, you think about Pioneer, you got that great team there, but you know, you have a lot of good athletes that you grew up with, man. Yeah. You know, I think about the soccer team this year. You know, you think about the kids that run the soccer team this year. Pretty good. Yeah. You know, you get some good kids. And one of them is your little brother. Yeah. Let's talk about your little brother for a minute, man. I think he's a good little athlete. Yeah. I really do.
He's soccer all the way.
Yeah, you could tell, man.
He would never go football. I tried to get him, but he didn't want to.
He's good, though.
Yeah, he's passionate about it. He plays at the indoor action during the winter, and he's always practicing soccer in the summer. He'll have a little goal set up, and he'll shoot in there. And I remember when I was in middle school and younger, I always played soccer, and that was my sport. And playing with him, he was always a good athlete.
Yeah, well, he had a good year this year. Yeah. He had a very good year this year. What year is he?
He's a junior.
He's a junior. Okay, so he is a junior. So he's got one more year left. Yep. But he had a good year this year, and their team had a really good year this year. Yeah. It's funny, I look at all the athletes that were on that team at Garrett and Jack Loud, and, you know, looking at all the players, Ryan Underwood, all the, you know, I'm like, wow, you know, I know all these kids since they were little, you know. And it's funny because I've known your parents a long time, but I never really knew much about you and your brother, and we just didn't really cross paths, you know. But I surely have known your parents for a lot of years, and I surely can say that they must be very proud of both of you for the achievements that you have earned, and also the hard work that you guys have both put into the games that you guys have passion for. Yeah. Your brother with soccer and with you with football. And now your parents are literally running all week long because your brother's playing during the week and you're playing every Friday night and Saturday, you know, whether it's a game on the road or whatever. So your parents were surely doing a lot of traveling to watch both of you guys in your fall sports. Yeah. So it was a busy season for them as well. RJ, Greenfield girls sports. What more can we say about Greenfield girls sports right now?
They're crazy.
Is that a special group of ladies to be able to have that many great athletes in one gym or one field together or one softball diamond? It's incredible, RJ.
And they're all best friends.
And that is even more impressive. You would think that with that many athletes, they'd be butting heads over what they needed to do to try to be the star, right? They don't play that way. They play as a team.
Right.
And look at the success that they've had in all their sports at Greenfield High School because of it. You know, you look at Reagan Hickey. Reagan Hickey's good at every sport. Yeah, she is the GOAT of Greenfield's girls sports, okay? She is the greatest of all time, I think, if you really think about it, for all the 3 sports that she's been able to excel at that school. But you know what? She also is a very humble person. So she's got all that going for her. You know, I always said, Sam Smith, she's built, man. Right. She can crush you down low on a basketball court. She can sit there and get in your face, and when you're trying to go one-on-one on the field hockey field, and let me tell you, she's got a mean arm, and she can hit the ball very hard on the softball field, you know. You have some great female athletes that are at your school. And you know what I love about you guys, and I want to give you a compliment? I love the way you guys all come out and support those girls. I want to say thank you to your group of men who come out to support that girls program.
They support us. We all go.
Well, you guys are tight, man. I go to all the games to do the games that I do during basketball season, and you're there to support the girls team, and they're always there to support you guys. You guys got a nice connection in that sports community over there at GHS. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
That's huge, and I like that. I see it a lot. Over the last 3 years, I really noticed the connection of GHS between the girls and the boys, and that's pretty huge. And you know what? People like winners, man. Yeah. How about UMass hockey now? #1 in the nation, guys. I don't know if you know that or not. I don't know if hockey is even a big deal to you guys. But let me tell you, they're #1 in the country right now. You know, that's a big deal for a 20-minute drive down to UMass if you want to go see some really great hockey, you know, if you're a hockey fan. So, but, you know, I look at the co-op program now. Every single school is all together now for hockey. Last year they made the playoffs. They ended up doing really well. So we have that connection going on now. Our Greenfield minor league in Greenfield is literally taking in all the kids from Northfield, all the kids from Berniston are all playing in our league because they don't have that available there. So we've built a connection of friendships that we're building in our league with all these kids young, so they get to know each other like you guys do now. So I think that we're making good strides on trying to get feeder programs started so that we can try to keep things going. They really want to keep that Bulldogs system going. They've really worked hard. Good. I appreciate that.
Kyle was my quarterback.
All right. That's cool. Yeah. Now, was Coach Byrd around at all? Yeah. Rich was, he really took passion, man. Him, Carlos, was he around, or was it just Coach Byrd?
Coach Byrd, Bryce Dobez is stepping in.
Yes.
When we went to the Super Bowl.
All right. Nice. That's great, man. It must have been a great feeling, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
That's awesome. That's a great feeling. So, you know, you think about this, we're building connections, we're building communities, and we're hopefully building, most importantly, avenues to be able to better ourselves as adults and get down the right path in our lives. And I know that you two guys got really good heads on your shoulders, and I can just see the way you guys act on the field. I see the way you act in your classrooms. I know I've never heard a bad thing about either one of you two guys, but positive, and that says a lot about your character. And I just want to say thank you to both of you for being able to be true leaders in your school, being a leader in your, you know, you're sitting in the locker room and you're talking to your teammates. Just continue to be a leader, because I always tell you, followers are the ones that ending up in the wrong place. It's the leaders that end up being in the right place. And if you guys can continue to be leaders, you're going to end up setting good goals for yourselves. And I think you guys are going to be a pretty special people in your communities as well.
Thank you.
But I just wanted to say, I can't say any more than to say thank you both for being here. 2355 for you, right? That was your magic number, right? Yeah. And what was your final tally? 2001. 90? 94? Something. Yep, 94, 2000, yep. Hey, unbelievable, man. And it's because 2 class act guys went out, played the game they loved, gave it everything they did, and left it all on the field at the end of the day. And now you guys are sitting here, and we can talk about the great achievement and the great season you both had, and now we have to get ready for some track and field in the spring. Get yourselves all ready to figure out where the heck you guys are going. I can't wait to find out where your commitments are. Do you have any colleges in mind?
Springfield College is my #1.
Springfield College, great college. And this guy right here, he's got a couple of ideas of things where he's looking at, but he hasn't made any kind of he's still thinking about it.
Our best opportunity.
Yep. He wants his best opportunity, and I think that's, hey, and I always say, guys, and I'm not afraid to say this, whoever's giving the best financial aid. Right, Mom? You know, whatever they can do to take care of you guys, right. You know, for you being able to go out there and take care of them. Mm-hmm. So I thank you guys so much for being a part of our show today. Once again, congratulations. We will have our awards ceremony show that'll be coming up in January. I will be in touch with both of you about that. And can't wait to be able to put my medallion around your guys' neck and give you guys a big handshake and a hug and say thank you for what you guys have done to your school, because we're really proud of you. All right? And thank you guys for saying yes to me. I've been lucky this year. Everybody's said yes so far. So it's great to be able to have you guys on the show. Tell your friends, tell your family. It's a great little program. We do it here on GCTV. We're available online. You can always check us out. You got grandparents that live far away. They can always go online. They can pop it on. You can really enjoy the show anywhere. And I just want to say that you guys were the ones who were able to make this show special today because of what you guys were able to achieve. I got to be able to ask questions and be able to just brag about you for an hour. And it was truly from the heart, because I had a chance to really enjoy the football season this year and to be able to really enjoy the fact that I got to see both of you guys play a lot of the games, and I also got a chance to listen to you on the radio as well. And on behalf of Sean Hubert and Jeff Terrell, I want you guys to know that they love you guys, and they are very impressed with both of you, and they really, really think that you guys are class acts in what you guys were able to do for your school and your community, and also to represent your family and yourselves. So I just wanted you guys to make sure you knew that, because we're pretty good friends, all three of us. And we had a really nice chat a couple weeks ago. We had our round table right before the Thanksgiving Day game, and we talked about you two guys and what you guys were able to bring to the table. And you surely didn't disappoint anybody, that's for sure. Good. So thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. R.J. Byrd, Wyatt Keith, two guys, two class acts. Dwayne, I'll give you a little prop. Dwayne Keith, nice to see you, buddy. I want to thank our sponsors, Four Leaf Clover Restaurant in Bernardston, also by Denny's Pantry, Bernardston Road in Greenfield, Lisa Albert of Albert Hearing Services, 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield, and by Hubie's Tavern and Restaurant, Avenue A in Turners Falls. For John Meisner and for our buddy Philippe, get better, my friend. Thank you so much, Ian, for filling in. That'll wrap things up for another week here on the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Just remember, support your local athletes.
Cool.
Thanks for watching the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report on GCTV. Catch a game and be sure to join us next time for more sports and fun.